You're pathetic. I'm sorry you didn't make the minimum requirements for this job position. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. You have lost your chance at international fame. Rejection is the hardest thing to go through, but it is the best thing to go through, because without rejection, you do not become the best version of yourself. Today, I'm going to talk about how I handle rejection in life and how I deal with it and what makes me better and what are some of the tricks that you can use to get past rejection. If you want to know about how to get through rejection, then do keep on watching. Hey Royal Family, this is The Front Row with myself, Roanna Moodley. Thank you so much for choosing The Front Row and thank you so much for spending your Monday with me. Today we're talking about rejection and how valuable rejection can be for someone. I like to call rejection a nudge in the right direction, or a nudge in the direction that you are meant to be going. Sometimes rejection can feel so heartbreaking. It can feel like the world is coming to an end. It could feel demoralizing. It could feel demotivating. It could feel all things that are bad. But when you reflect and you look at all the rejections that you've ever gotten in your life, you will realize that they were all meant to be and they were pushing you in the direction that you were supposed to be in. But when you're going through rejection, it can be difficult at the time that you're going through rejection. And I find with all the thousands of rejections I've gotten, I've come out of it with the same sort of baseline lessons, and I come out of it stronger and better for it, and I try my very, very best to extract the lessons from each rejection that I receive and see how I can then make myself better from those experiences. It is a very difficult thing to do, because when you are rejected, you can feel like the world is against you. You can feel like there is nothing left for you to do, and you can feel alone. And when you are rejected, you can go into depression, you can be in a mental state of stress, and you can go into a slum and really not be able to pull yourself out of this. So the reason why I want to share this with you is to assure you that it's okay to feel rejected. It's okay to experience rejection, because only with rejection you will become stronger and you will move to the direction that you are meant to be. I was rejected many, many times. I was rejected by boys that I liked. I was rejected by companies that I dreamed of working at. I was rejected by friends that I wanted to be around. I was rejected by people. I was rejected by my family. I was rejected on numerous occasions. And what I found with my lessons in rejection is that it really did make me the person that I am today. It made me able to think the way that I think. It made me stronger and wiser. But I don't think I would have been this person had I not taken those rejection experiences, wrote down what those experiences are, and then really own it and immerse myself in the lessons and grow from it. It's okay to feel sad at times. It's like two sides of the coin. It's okay to feel heartbroken. I have put together a few steps that you can follow to help you get through rejection. This is again my life experiences, because I've gone through so much rejection myself. These are the things that have worked for me, and you can use it as a guide for yourself. You can add to it. You can maybe not use all the steps, but I promise you it is something that will help you tremendously, especially when you're dealing with rejection. When you first get rejected, the first thing you want to do is just relax. Take a breather. You've been rejected. Maybe your heart was broken. Maybe you didn't get the job that you wanted. Maybe you went in to do a driver's test and you failed. You went to an interview and you really wanted this job, but then you got a call and they said that you were declined. Whatever the rejection story is, at that moment when you receive it, it is incredibly heartbreaking. It is incredibly hurtful. So the first thing that always helps me is to take a break and to take a breather. And what I like to do is to just have a drink, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, whatever it is that suits you, and just relax and think about all the other things that are going on good for yourself. The second step you want to do is let some steam off. For women like me, I like to vent. So the best thing you can do is vent about a situation, but give it a time frame. You can't be venting for the rest of your life. You also can't be venting for a long period of time. If you're someone that doesn't vent and you internalize everything, maybe go out or read a book or watch a movie or meet up with some friends or go to a dance party. Whatever the case is, you have to let some steam off. If you don't take care of the hostile feelings you have towards the rejection, then you won't be able to pull yourself towards a healing path. Also, it's so damn fun to just let loose sometimes. It's okay to go to a party. It's okay to have fun with your friends. It's okay to put on some loud music in your room and dance like no one's watching. It's okay to let loose because that's part of living. And once you're done doing step 1 and step 2, now you want to get into the seriousness of why you were rejected. So what always works for me is to really write down and be truly honest with yourself here and write down the pros and the cons of the situation. So for example, I was rejected for a job. So what are the pros of me having that particular job? And what are the cons of me having this job? And then you'll see it's such a crazy thing. If you do a pros and cons list prior to going to an interview and then you get rejected and then you do a pros and cons list again, it's amazing how that list can differ because now you've been slapped into reality and you now have a better understanding of who you are and what you want. And a rejection has this funny way of really giving you the nudge that you need in life. The next step, and probably the most important step, is to look at all the lessons. For example, if you didn't get a particular job, what are the lessons from that? Perhaps the manager was a bad person. Perhaps the actual culture of the company was really, really terrible. So it's okay to take away lessons because only when you're rejected is your mind opened up to the reality of why you were not supposed to be in that situation anyway. Because when you really want it, you kind of, if you're not rejected, you kind of forget about, or you're blindsided by all the things that may not actually work in your favor. And the last and final step is to have a plan of action. What is your next step? What is the next best thing for you to do? And really own it, because if you haven't gotten that job, for example, it's not the end of the road. There is something better waiting for you. So what is your next step? Does it mean that you're going to apply in the same industry? Are you going to diversify the industry that you're applying into? Are you going to upskill yourself in terms of your tertiary education? Are you going to upskill yourself in terms of the skills that is needed for that particular job? Do you need to have a mentor? Do you need to buddy with certain people? So there's certain things that you need to do in terms of really owning and really taking action of what you want to do next. I have a video on how to survive in the corporate world, and you can check out that video here to see how I deal with the corporate world if that was something that you were rejected in. Or you can have a plan of action if you were rejected in a relationship. What's the next step? Is this the kind of personality type that I want to be with? Or actually maybe I'm looking for something different. I'm generally attracted to A, but A actually is bad for me. So I should actually put out a list of things that I want from someone, and that could be a whole different list altogether as opposed to what I'm actually attracted to. So rejection is always going to be something that will be beneficial. It will always be something that will grow you. It will always be a slap in the right direction for where you were needed and meant to be. But it's on you to take that rejection and make it a lesson worthwhile. Because if you take rejection badly and if you wallow in it and you go into a slump and you go into mental stress and lead yourself into the depression route, then you will have not learned from those lessons. Everyone gets rejected. There's not one person on this planet that does not know what rejection feels like. A newborn baby knows what rejection feels like. And it is important that we learn from a very young age how to deal with rejection and how to pull ourselves away from the slump of that feeling. Rejection feels awful. I wish we could never feel it ever in our entire lives. But how will we grow? How will we be better? How will we be more in tune with what the universe wants for us and what is our soul purpose? And I feel like rejection is really, really a soldier in teaching us what to do. So if you are ever in the situation that you feel rejected or you're going through rejection, know that you will get through this, but you must treat it as a positive lesson, and you must dissect that rejection lesson and make a plan for your future and make a plan quickly. How you handle a particular situation speaks volumes for your character. It speaks volumes for who you are as a person. It will determine how successful you will be as an adult. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for choosing the front row. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to talk about other topics, please comment below and let me know. And do subscribe to my channel because it does help me tremendously. And I guess I'll see you on the next video. Till then, keep it royal.